Hey everyone, this is video number 3 in the series for business owners who are working on their business at this challenging time. So I'm coming to you today from my wife Shelley's office. This is Fredericton Family Chiropractic. My wife's a chiropractor, as most of you know. And this business, like many others around the province, has had to close during this crisis. And so it's a challenging time for us, as it is for most everybody, especially if you're a business owner whose business had to close. We kind of know what you're going through. But I'm coming to you from Shelley's office today because what I want to talk to you about today is where are the misalignments in your business. And really, misalignment is a chiropractic principle that really applies well to business, I think. So what chiropractors do, if you don't know, in a nutshell, is they detect and correct misalignments in your spine or in your function of your spine that affect your nervous system, that impede nerve flow, and impede the ability of your brain to talk to your body and vice versa, which is so necessary for your body to self-heal and self-regulate and all that good stuff. So if there's nerve interference, then your body's ability to express health is compromised, and oftentimes that can be caused by stresses of trauma or our everyday lives that can manifest themselves by locking up the spine or creating a misalignment in the spine that chiropractors are trained to locate and correct, and with the goal of restoring optimal nerve function so that the brain and body can talk to each other and the body can express health. So that's the very, very, very short version of what chiropractic is all about and what chiropractors do. And so the analogy, of course, is, well, where are the misalignments in your business? How can misalignments in your business impact your business's ability to express health, otherwise known as growth and profitability and that kind of stuff? So where are the misalignments in your business? The tricky part about this for business, of course, is there's so many moving parts of any business. And as we talked about in the last video, even a simplified business, if you're talking about it in simplified terms of the framework that I used in the last video, even among the purpose and the planning and the people and the processes, that's a lot of moving parts. And then there's moving parts within each of those areas. So if they're not all in alignment, if they're not all working together, you're setting yourself up for a real struggle in business. So it's really important to ensure that purpose and planning and people and strategy and processes are all aligned so that you give yourself the best chance of expressing health as a business. Hopefully that makes sense. The analogy rings true. So what I wanted to share with you is a couple of examples of misalignments in businesses that might drive the point home and might get you thinking, okay, well, where might some misalignments be in my business? One example recently that happened is we had a new heating system installed in our house. And when the quoter came to quote the job, he quoted it based on the fact that in his view, there wasn't going to be any duct work needed to tie into the new system. He thought our existing duct work would be just fine. Well, when the installer showed up a little while later, a couple days or a week later, they knew right away that there was going to be some duct work involved, some fairly significant duct work. And so what was quoted as a one-day job ended up taking 2.5 days to complete. And so I'm thinking, wow, this is going to really impact the profitability of this job for this company if you have 2.5 times the labor on the job versus what was quoted. Maybe it's going to take all the profit away. Maybe they're even going to lose money. And so I get to thinking, well, what process misalignment led to this for this business? Obviously, there was a misalignment between the quoting of the job and the installing of the job. There was a lack of communication between the quoter and the installer. So maybe there's no process in that business to have the quoter and the installer talk to each other before a quote goes out the door. Maybe the quoter should take pictures and make sure that they run them by the installer, particularly with respect to ductwork, to make sure that they're quoting the job properly. So somewhere in that business, there's a misalignment between the processes of the business, between the quoting process and the installing process, and that cost the business money. So that's one example that happened recently. It's a concrete example. One that you will see oftentimes in professional services firms is a misalignment where they're between two competing objectives of the business. So one objective of a professional service firm might be succession planning, where they really want to bring their up and coming bright stars along to become partners eventually. And in order to do that, you need to take, a partner needs to take some of his clients and transition them to that up and comer, so that the up and comer gets the opportunity to deal with that sort of client and really gets to grow their book of business and so on. So that's generally an objective in most professional services firms. However, if the compensation model at that professional service firm for partners is based primarily on book of business, then there's a real disincentive for the partner to transition any client engagements to another staff member, because there might be fear that that impacts their compensation at the end of the year. So those are a couple of objectives or processes in that business that don't align. And the result of that is you have staff members that aren't getting the experience that they need. Maybe that leads to stagnant growth. Maybe it leads to problems with succession planning. Maybe it leads to really overworked and unhappy partners. It can lead to a lot of problems. So those two things that are in misalignment with each other ultimately impact the success of the business. So there's two examples, but there's all kinds of examples of where misalignments occur in business. Again, they can occur between the purpose and the planning components of your business. They can occur between the purpose and planning and people components of your business. They can occur among the varying processes of your business. If you have a nagging problem in your business, and if you're a business owner, there's probably a handful at least of nagging problems in your business, in all likelihood, those problems are caused by a misalignment somewhere in your business. If you locate and correct the misalignment, then you'll likely correct that problem. So I encourage you, based on what I share with you today, to really give some thought to one, at least, or maybe more, of the problems in your business right now that you're experiencing. And of course, there's problems that we're experiencing now in all of our business from a financial point of view that are tied to this crisis that might be unusual. But think back to before this crisis hit, before you were forced to shut down. I'm sure there were some problems in your business that were nagging you. Think really long and hard about where is the misalignment that is at the root cause of that problem. And if you're able to correct that, or locate that misalignment and correct the misalignment, in all likelihood, that problem you'll see dissipate. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So maybe there's a process that you need that's not there at all, or maybe there's a misalignment between or among processes, or between and among a process and the purpose of your business, or between and among the planning stages of your business or component of your business and the people part of your business. It could be anywhere. So you really need to think about it. Where's that misalignment? Find the misalignment, correct it, and I think you'll see the problem go away. Love to know what you think about that. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, everybody be safe and talk to you soon.